Hello and welcome to Data Communication and Networking online lecture series. Myself Rima Raval from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Electronics and Communication. Today's topic is example data link protocols from the unit number 3, that is data link layer. So let's start with that. Now in this section we will examine a group of closely related protocols that are a bit old but are still heavily used. They are all derived from the data link protocol first used in the IBM mainframe world, that is SDLC, Synchronous Data Link Control Protocol. After developing SDLC, IBM submitted it to ANSI and ISO for acceptance as US and international standards respectively. ANSI modified it to become ADCCP, that is Advanced Data Communication Control Procedure, and ISO modified it to become HDLC. So here the example data link protocols will be of main two types. First HDLC, that is High Level Data Link Control Protocol, and the second is PPP, that is Point-to-Point Protocol. Now we will understand each of them in detail. The first one is HDLC, that is High Level Data Link Control. This is a group of communication protocols of the data link layer for transmitting data between network points or nodes. Since it is a data link protocol, data is organized into frames. A frame is transmitted via the network to the destination that verifies its successful arrival. It is a bit-oriented protocol that is applicable for both point-to-point and multi-point communications. So, the High-Level Data Link Control Protocol, or else HDLC, is a group of communication protocols of the data link layer for transmitting data between network points or nodes. There are two transfer modes over here. The first one is NRM, which is called as Normal Response Mode, and the second one is Asynchronous Balance Mode, that is ABM. Okay, let us see the first one, NRM, that is Normal Response Mode. Here two types of stations are there, a primary station that sends the commands and a secondary station that can respond to received commands. It is used for both point-to-point and multi-point communication. As you can see from the diagram, the normal response mode has two types of communication. First one is point-to-point communication and the second one is multi-point communication. In point-to-point communication, the primary station and the secondary stations will have only one-to-one communication, whereas in multi-point communication, there will be so many secondary stations to which command is given and from which response is taken. This is the normal response mode. Now the next one is ABM, that is Asynchronous Balance Mode. Here the configuration is balanced, that is each station can both send commands and respond to commands, and it is used for only point-to-point communication. So as you can see from this diagram, for asynchronous balance mode, the point-to-point communication is established where both can send command and response as well. Now let us see the HDLC frame structure. Here the HDLC frame structure has 6 fields, that means first field is of 8 bits, the second field is of address field which is of 8 bits, then the third field is of 8 bits, that means control field, the fourth field is data field, the fifth field is checksum field, and the sixth field is again flag bit. Now these fields are what? So the divisions of the frames are called as fields. Here as you can see, HDLC frame structure has 6 fields. This first and the sixth, that is, these are the flag field, that means that indicates the starting and ending of the frame. So these are same of 8 bits, or else you can say of 1 byte, right? The Flag bit pattern is 0, 6 times 1 and 0. Similarly, at the ending of the frame, it is the same flag pattern 0, 6 times 1, 0. Now the second field is of again 8 bits, that means of 1 byte, which is of address bit. Okay, here the address of the destination is attached. It contains the address for the receiver. So if the frame is sent by the primary station, it contains the address of the secondary station. And if it is sent by the secondary station, it contains the address of the primary station. So the address field may be from 1 byte to several bytes, but here standard is the 1 byte, that means 8 bits. Now the next field is control field, which is again of 8 bits, that means 1 byte. It is for flow control and error control mechanism. Then the fourth field is of data field, which actually has the payload, that means which carries the data from the network layer, right? The length may be variable from one network to another, so it will be greater than or equals to 0 bits. So this field is variable, this is not fixed. Then the next field is checksum field, which is of 16 bits, that means you can say 2 bytes, right? This is for error detection purpose, right? So this is the HDLC frame structure. Now let us see the types of HDLC frames. There have been 3 types of HDLC frames. First one is I-frame, which stands for information frames, which carry user data from the network layer. They also include flow and error control information that is piggybacked on user data. The first bit of control field of I-frame is 0. Now the second is S-frame, which stands for supervisory frames, which do not contain information field. They are used for flow and error control when piggybacking is not required, and the first 2 bits of control field of S-frame is 1, 0. Now the third type of HDLC frame is U-frame, which means unnumbered frames, which are used for myriad miscellaneous functions like link management. It may contain an information field if required, and the first 2 bits of control field of U-frame is 1, 1. Let us see the HDLC frames types. First one, as we have seen, is the I-frame, information frame, which has 6 fields, in which first and last field is of flag field, second is the address field, the third is control field, and the fourth one is user data for upper layers. Then the S frame has 5 field, first and last of which is flag, and then address, control and FCS, that means checksum method. Okay, and the U frame, which is the same, but the fourth field is of management information. Okay, so if you want to identify that which kind of HDLC frame is this, so it will according to the first field. That means if I frame is there, the first bit of control frame is 0. Then if it is S frame, the first 2 bits of the control field will be 1, 0, and for the U frame, the first 2 bits of control field is 1, 1. So using this, you can identify the type of HDLC frame. Okay. Now next is PPP, that is point-to-point protocol. So here the protocol starts with a line in the dead state and it will establish to up to authenticate state. So we will see this later on. So point-to-point protocol is a communication protocol of the data link layer that is used to transmit multi-protocol data between 2 directly connected, that means for point-to-point computers. This provides 3 features. The first one, a framing method that unambiguously delineates the end of one frame and the start of the next one. So the frame format also handles error detection. Second, it provides LCP, that is a link control protocol, Here the link control protocol negotiates data link protocol options during the established phase. So the LCP protocol is not actually concerned with the options themselves but with the mechanism of negotiation. So it provides a way for initiating process to make a proposal and for the responding process to accept or reject it in the whole or in the part. So it also provides a way for two processes to test the line quality to see if they consider it good enough to set up a connection for data transmission. And these standards are defined under the RFC 1661. The third feature is NCP, which is Network Control Protocol. So these are the basic three features of point-to-point protocol. Let us see triple P frame, that is point-to-point protocol frame structure. In this, as you can see, there are 7 fields. The first field is flag field, which is of 1 byte. That means you can say of 8 bits. And similarly, the last field is also a flag byte of 1 byte, or else you can say 8 bits. Both are having the same flag bit pattern, that is 0, 6 times 1 and then 0, right? So this both are equal, which indicates the starting and ending of the frame. The second field is address field, which is of 1 byte having all ones. Then the third field is control field, that is 6 times 1 and 6 times 0 and 2 times 1, which is of 1 byte, that means again 8 bits. Then next is protocol field. This defines the protocol used for transmission. This may be of 1 or 2 bytes. Then the payload field, which contains the data, is variable from layers to layer. Then the next field is checksum field for error detection, which is of 2 or 4 bytes. Okay, this is the triple P frame structure. Now let us see a simplified phase diagram for bringing a line up and down. Okay, so this is very important to understand how point-to-point protocol works. So here, first of all, consider the line or else communication link in dead state. Then as soon as the carrier or else data is detected, it will establish the connection, right? So next the state will be established when both sides agree on the options. That means the transmitter and the receiver agrees on the protocols or options. This will go to the next state, that is authentication state. So whenever the authentication is successful between these two sides, the network is assigned to them, and for that NCP means network configuration protocol will be there, which will make the communication link open for transmitters or open for transmission. And when the transmission is done or complete, it will terminate the channel. That means the next state will be terminate state, after which the carrier is dropped or which is now available for another transmission. Okay, so this is the complete cycle which indicates the simplified phase diagram for bringing any communication line up and down. Now as you can see, there are two intermediate states. That means whenever established state is failed, that means if both sides do not agree on options or there may be any other condition, and if this state fails, it goes to again the dead state. That means now it has to again find the carrier and then again established state has to be obtained. Now if the authentication is unsuccessful or if it fails, then it will directly go to the termination. That means it will directly terminate the line. Okay, so this is the complete phase diagram where first it will be the dead state, then established state, then authenticate state, then after that networks assigning state, then open, that means opening of the channel available for transmission, then terminate. After termination state, carrier is dropped, which will again lead to the dead state. Okay. So I hope this is clear to you now. These are the references. For HDLC and point-to-point protocols. Thank you. Thank you for listening.